is Bhumika Chauhan. Welcome back to our channel, and in today's video we are going to start chapter number 2, The Pot Maker, a beautiful chapter of our book Kaveri class 9. This story revolves around the traditional hand pottery practiced in Nagaland, and it describes the journey of a girl named Sentila, I guess, right, who dreams of becoming like a pot maker, like her mother and her grandmother. Okay, so the story highlights the growing conflict between the low profit, labor intensive Naga pottery making and more profitable weaving profession which Santila's mother Arenla wants her to follow. So, however, as it would mean extinction of local, pottery culture, the village council over here wants Arenla to pass on the skill to her daughter Sentila. So, Arenla agrees to teach Sentila, but Sentila is unable to grasp the nuances of making a pot by hand. Sentila's dream of becoming a pot maker comes true when Onula, there is a widow teacher here, teaches her the technique of making a pot. So she polishes her skill basically by watching her mother, and one day she's able to make a perfect batch of pots. So her happiness turns to grief. I will not tell you how. Okay, so this is basically the introduction, and let's get started. It's an amazing chapter. Ever since Sentila became, so I gave you basically the introduction, okay, so you'll get to know what is happening and all these events, how these events happened. And yes, ever since Sentila became old enough to accompany her mother to the fields and forests, she began to dream of becoming a pot maker like her mother and grandmother. Okay, however, Arenla, her mother wanted her to become a weaver on days when she managed to stay at home. So here when Sentila became like old enough, to go with her mother to the fields and forests, so she developed a very strong desire to become a pot maker like her mother and her grandmother, right? So pot making was basically a traditional, we can see, art, right, in her family, or a traditional skill in her family. Yes, accompany means to go somewhere with someone. Okay everyone. However, Arenla, her mother, wanted her to become a weaver. Arenla did not want her to be a pot maker. I don't know what would be the reason. They will eventually tell us. I think it's because of the low profit and high labor thing, right? Yes, so on days when she managed to stay at home while her parents went to the fields, Sentila approached expert potters to learn the skill. Okay, so I think she's very much into this pottery, right? And Sentila's mother, Arenla, she had different plans for her daughter. She wanted Sentila to become a weaver because she believed weaving would be easier and I think more profitable also. But whenever Sentila stayed home, what she was doing while her parents, went to work in the fields, she secretly went to experienced potters to learn how to make pots because she knew that her mother won't allow, right? So yes, they were at first amused by the little girl's insistence, as they thought that she would soon outgrow her childish passion for the craft. Obviously, this happens. No one takes these childish desires very seriously, because one day I want to be a pilot, the next day I want to be a potter, and then some actor, some influencer, and all these things, right? So yes, all these potters, all these skilled artists, the experienced potters basically, at first they were amused by this, little girl's determination to learn pot making. They thought that her interest was only childish, fascination, and that she would eventually stop, being interested in it as she grew older, like outgrow as she grew older. So Centilla did not disclose her fascination with the pot making at home, as she had overheard a conversation between her parents one night. So what happened? She overheard a conversation between her parents one night, and what they were talking about, her mother was complaining about Centilla's indifference, like indifference as in lack of interest in something, to weaving. So she was basically telling her husband that she's not interested in weaving. I really want her to, show some interest in weaving because it's a high profitable thing. And she said, I shall not teach her pot making as it has brought no joy to me and only a pittance as in a small amount of money. Right? So Centilla did not tell her parents that she was secretly learning pot making, and she knew her mother would probably be unhappy because she overheard the conversation. Like accidentally she heard her parents talking about her future, and they were like, mother was like, I don't want her to be a pot maker. I should not teach her pot making because there is no profit in that. I have I did all these things and it had given nothing but disappointment, right? Yes. So the river bank where the grey and red clay required for making pots is found is 16 kilometers from here, and I need to climb down a sheer drop to the river bank, and my back aches from carrying the heavy load uphill all the way to the village. So Arinla was upset because Centilla did not seem interested in learning weaving, and she said that she would not teach Centilla pot making, right? Because pot making had caused her a lot of difficulty but had given her very little happiness or money in return. Now she's describing this thing, that how the river bank where the grey and red clay required for making pots is found is 16 kilometers. So she is basically describing the labor, the hard work. So there is this special clay, right? Special grey and red clay they need for making pots, and it was found near the river bank. And unfortunately, the river bank is 16 kilometers, right, away from their village. So Arinla had to travel a very long distance to get the clay, right? Yes. And my back aches, like sheer drop I need to climb down a sheer drop to the river bank, and my back aches from carrying the heavy load uphill all the way to the village. Pounding the stubborn clay inside bamboo cylinders to soften it, it is also tedious. So she is explaining that I had to go, down a very steep slope, right? A sheer drop, that is a steep slope to reach the river. And after collecting that heavy clay, she had to carry it all the way uphill to the village, and this caused severe pain in her back, and she did not want that for her daughter. Obviously, right? Pounding the stubborn clay inside bamboo cylinders to soften it. Now they have to beat it, right? Pounding the stubborn clay inside the bamboo. So they have to beat that clay to make it soft. The clay was hard and obviously it is difficult to work with, right? So what they have to do? They had to beat the clay inside these bamboo cylinders, they are saying, right, to make it soft enough to use. So this was tiring, this was boring and exhausting. So many times I have dropped the mold out of sheer exhaustion and have had to start all over again. She dropped the mold and had to begin the whole process again. Sometimes this also happened. It takes months to bring out a batch of pots, and after so much labor, and the reward, a few rupees. But if Centilla learns weaving, she can make much more money besides providing enough clothes for the family. Yes, that's true. I totally agree. I totally agree, right? That she is basically her worries, like, I think they are genuine, because she doesn't want her daughter to do such exhausting work, right? Which is like, because all these efforts are now earned only a few, like a small amount of money, and she felt that the reward was not enough for the amount of hard work she had to do. So she doesn't want that for her daughter. That's completely fine. That's completely genuine, right? So yes, and she's saying, if I teach her, if she learns weaving, she can make much more money. Right? That's true. Weaving is not messy like pot making and can be done indoors in all seasons. Yes. Also, they spent on weaving one shawl. Okay, I have to zoom it. I'm sorry. Yes. So what is she saying? Weaving is not messy like pot making, right? And can be done indoors in all seasons. Like it's not like you have to depend on season also. So Arenda believed weaving would be a better career option for Centilla, because through weaving, Centilla could earn more money and also make enough clothes for the family. And she can do this work like for the entire year, right? So, and can be done indoors in all seasons. All the time spent on weaving one shawl is much less than the return is handsome, is much less, and the return is handsome. She's saying it is not that time taking, and obviously the profit is also good. So, weaving had several advantages, right? Yes. First of all, cleaner than pot making, could be done inside the house regardless of the weather, and took less time, right? She also believed that weaving a shawl would bring great amount of money and less amount of time, right? Yes. After that, next, Centilla continued her visits to watch the potters at work, but Centilla has, I think, some different plans. She saw how the clay was mixed with water and pounded how carefully they were when they pushed their left hand into a lump of the softened clay, and how deftly they rotated the lump as they started giving shape to the rotating clay with a spatula. So what is happening? Even after hearing that conversation, even after hearing her mother's opinion, Centilla did not give up. She continued visiting these skilled laborers, these skilled potters, and she carefully watched every step, including mixing with clay water and beating it until it becomes soft. She's paying attention to each and every detail, like how they are doing it, how carefully they are, pushing their hand or their left hand into a lump and everything, right, of the softened clay, how they are doing. Like, she is focusing on each and every step so she can be a good pot maker. So Centilla watched all these potters very carefully. Please pay attention to this. And they put their left hand inside the softened clay. This is the left hand, and rotated the clay carefully, right? And at the same time, they used a spatula, right, in their left hand, I guess, into a lump of softened clay, and how deftly they rotated the lump as they started giving the shape to the rotating clay with a spatula held in the right hand, right? So they are using a spatula in their right hand to basically give shape to whatever pot they are making. So the regular, deftly as in skillfully, the regular tap of the spatula on the clay was music to her ears as she watched in fascination the pot emerging out of shapeless lump right in front of her eyes. And after 2 or 3 days, the pots would be given a final touch up to retain the required shape and to test the consistency. So Centilla loved the sound of spatula hitting the clay, and to her the repeated tap sounded like music. And she was fascinated to see how an ordinary, shapeless piece of clay slowly became a beautiful pot, right? So this all is music. Like, it is like she is feeling very happy whenever she looks at all this process. And after 2-3 days, they are saying the pots would be given a final touch up, right, to retain the required shape and to test the consistency. So after the pot had been shaped, the potters waited for basically 2 to 3 days, and then they made the final, corrections to ensure that the pots had the correct shape. And they also checked whether the clay had the right consistency, meaning the right firmness and the right texture, right? The thickness, the firmness, the texture of something they are checking, right? Okay. Only then would the pots be taken out to dry in the sun before being loaded onto a kiln in a uniform pattern on a bed of hay and dried bamboo. And covered with another layer of the same materials, and then kiln would be fired. Okay. So after the final shaping, the pots were placed in sun to dry, obviously. And once dry, they were carefully arranged inside a kiln, which is a special like oven used to, bake pots. Okay, so they are, what they are doing, what is kiln? It's basically an oven used for baking clay objects. Okay, yes. So they are putting, all these pots in a uniform pattern on a bed of hay and dried bamboo and covered with another layer of the same material, and then kiln would be fired. Okay, so another layer of hay and dried bamboo was placed over the pots, and then the kiln was set on fire. So the heat would make the pots hard, obviously, and strong, right? One had to tend the fire carefully, as overfiring or underfiring would ruin the entire batch. So they need to be very specific, right? They need to be very careful, right? Whenever they are, the fire had to be watched like very carefully, they are saying, right? If the pots were heated too much, they could be damaged. If they were not heated enough, they would also be spoiled. So therefore, controlling the fire, I think, was extremely important. So they need to take care, or they need to watch carefully, right? Overfiring, like whether, like they need to be careful about overfiring and underfiring, because that could, both of these things can completely spoil their batch, right? So Arenla heard of her daughter's visits but pretended to be ignorant of them. Right, by late afternoon, Centilla had to return home quickly so that when her mother came back from the field, she would be there. So Arenla eventually learned that, Centilla was secretly visiting these pot makers and potters, and however, she ignored, like she pretended she doesn't know. So Centilla always hurried home in the late afternoon so that her mother would see her at home when she, returned from the fields. So let's see what happens. Gradually, Centilla's visits became a topic of village gossip, right? And people wondered why Arenla was refusing to teach the skill to her daughter. They were worried that if all the pot makers followed suit, like did the same thing as somebody else has just done, then there would be no expert potters to take their place. And that's true. So soon everyone in the village, started talking about, like gossiping about Centilla's secret visits, and the villagers were confused, like why Arenla was not teaching her daughter the traditional skill of pot making, and that's true. But people wondered, like why she is refusing. They were worried that if all pot makers followed suit, that if everybody started doing this, then there would be no expert potters to take their place. So they think that villagers were actually, I think, concerned at this point of time, right? They are concerned about the future of pot making, I guess. Yes, if every pot maker started doing this, every pot maker refused to teach their children, there would be eventually no skilled potters to, left in the village. And that's true. One day, Centilla's father, Mesoba, was summoned by the village council and asked to explain why Arinda was refusing to pass on the skill to her daughter. Okay. He replied in a humble tone, uncles and elder brothers, Arinda has never said that she will not teach our daughter pot making. It is only that we wanted her to grow stronger after her illness. Okay. So there's this village council called Masoba, I think Panchayat, we call it in our language. And Sentila's father, right over here, they called, the village council basically called Masoba. Masoba is Sentila's father. He replied, humble tone, uncles and elder brothers. Yes. Masoba is the father over here. Right, so they are basically, they called the Panchayat, and Masoba is the father, and they are saying that why Arinla is, not refusing again and again. Why does she not want to teach her daughter this art of pot making? And he replied in a very humble tone, like uncles and elder brothers. He spoke very respectfully to the village elders. Right, and he clarified that Arinla had never actually said that she would never, or she would refuse to teach this art of pot making. She just wanted to teach Sentila. He wanted the basically elders to understand that the situation was not as bad as they thought. Right. He said that it is only that we wanted her to grow stronger after her illness. Right? And you will soon see Sentila making the best pots in the village. After listening to Masoba's explanation, the elders decided to let him go, cautioning him to remind Arinla that it was her duty to teach her daughter the skill that was handed down from generation to generation. So they were saying that is it important. Masoba basically explained that Sentila had been ill, and they wanted her to become physically stronger before she learned pot making. So he confidently told all the elders that Sentila would eventually become, an excellent pot maker. Just give her some time. And after listening this, after listening all this explanation from Masoba, all these village elders, they basically allowed him to leave, and they said that they warned him to remind your wife that she had a responsibility. This is her responsibility to teach the traditional skill to her daughter. It's important, right? Okay, then to teach her daughter the skill that was handed down from generation to generation. They also told him that skills such as pot making, which not only catered to the needs of people, but also symbolized the tradition and history of the people, did not belong to any individual. So they are saying that this is our tradition, this is our culture, it's not about a single person. Elders made a very important point here, I think. It's a very important point, guys. They are saying that traditional skills, they do not belong to one person. Right? Pot making was useful to the whole community, right, and represented its history and traditions, and therefore no individual should keep such knowledge only for themselves, right? Did not belong to any individual, and experts were obliged to pass on their skills not only to their own children but also to anyone who wished to learn. Right? It's not like you have to teach only your daughter or your son this art. If anyone else wants to learn this art, you should teach them. So elders believed that skilled people had a responsibility, right, to teach their knowledge, and they should teach not only their own children but also anyone genuinely interested in that art. Anyone generally interested in learning, they should teach them also, right? Masoba went home and discussed the matter with Arinla, and the following year, now the second part, Okay. So after meeting the village elders, Mesoba actually discussed this, returned home and talked to Arinla and about what they had said, everything. And the elders had clearly like made it clear that the traditional skill need to be passed on. That is the final decision and you have to do this. Okay. So the following year, what happened? The following year, Arinla took Centilla to the river bank where the grey and red clay was found, and she taught Centilla how to dig the clay with the dhow, load it onto her carrying basket, and soak it in the trough in the work shed before stuffing it into the bamboo cylinder in the right proportion to pound it. So now she is explaining. Okay, she took her to the river bank where the special clay was found, and she taught her how to dig the clay using a dhow, a traditional, a digging tool, She's teaching how to dig, right, and clay with a dhow, an instrument used to dig. Load it onto her carrying basket, like she has a basket over here, as you can all clearly see. So you need to load it, all this clay in your basket in the right proportion, right, to pound it. And Centilla was a quick learner and turned the clay into malleable dough. Malleable as in able to be put into shape without breaking or cracking. So basically she softened it. So Centilla learned how to put the clay into a carrying basket, bring it to the work shed, soak it in a container of water, and then put the correct amount into a bamboo cylinder. After that, she had to pound the clay to soften it, right? Yes. Centilla was a quick learner and turned the clay into malleable dough, but when she tried her hand at the shaping of the lump into a pot, now comes the difficult part, right? She was a quick learner, got it, very nice, and turned the clay into malleable dough. But, when she tried her hand at the shaping of the lump into a pot, so she successfully turned the clay into soft and shapeable dough. But when she tried actually to make the dough in a pot, she could not, she could not even hold the lump of dough properly. She was not able to even hold it, right? And that's the tough part, I guess. She could not even hold it correctly. So the mother simply sat in a corner and watched the girl try again and again. So mother was watching from a distance, like, what is she doing? While Centilla hung her head in shame and frustration, Arinla took over the job and transformed the lump into a beautiful pot. So, because Arinla, obviously, her mother was a skilled pot maker, and she saw the frustration and shame, right, in Centilla, and she took over the job, and she immediately actually helped Centilla, right? She sat, so Centilla basically sat quietly, and Arinla basically sat quietly and watched her daughter, make these pots and make these repeated attempts, and she was embarrassed. She was frustrated because she could not, succeed, and that's why Arinla came in for rescue. She was like, let me tell you, let me help you out, mera bacha. These sessions continued for almost a year, but Centilla was unable to learn anything from her mother. So Centilla thought she could be a good pot maker. She had that interest, but she was not able, right, to basically learn. So the mother-daughter continued, these training sessions for almost, I think, 1 whole year, they are saying, but Centilla wasn't able to learn. So Centilla could not learn the actual, she was not able to learn the actual shaping technique, right, from her mother, right? And this is important because Centilla could learn the preparation of the clay, but something prevented her from, I think, learning the actual pot making technique from Arinla. So the next year, when Centilla matured, according to custom, she was sent to stay for some nights in one of the girls' dormitories, supervised by a kind middle-aged widow whom the girls called Onula or auntie. She had heard of the discord in Scintilla's family and resolved to help the girl in every possible way. One evening, when everyone except Scintilla went to attend a musical evening, Anula saw her taking out some clay and the implements from her basket quietly, and she watched Scintilla's clumsy efforts to make a pot. Okay, so what is happening? Over here, Scintilla is very much wait a minute, guys. So when Scintilla basically became older, right, she followed the local customs of staying for some nights in girls' dormitory. So the dormitory was supervised by a kind woman who was a middle-aged widow. Matured means became older and more developed, and custom means traditional practice, and dormitory over here means a large room or building where many people sleep. So I think probably Scintilla got her first periods, I guess, right? After that, to make a pot, and noticed that Scintilla was too tense. So the girl affectionately called the woman over here Anula, meaning auntie. And Anula knew that Scintilla's family was having this disagreements about pot making and weaving, and she decided that she would help Scintilla as much as she could. Okay, so she was like, okay. And one evening when she was when everyone except Scintilla went to attend a musical evening, Anula saw her taking out some clay. So one evening, all the other girls went to a musical program and Scintilla stayed behind. She did not go. And Anula noticed that Scintilla secretly took out clay and pot making tools, all these tools from her basket, and because she wanted to practice. Okay. She watched Scintilla's clumsy efforts to make a pot and noticed that Scintilla was too tense. And Anula was looking at her. Anula watched Scintilla, trying to make a pot, and Scintilla was clumsy, meaning she was not handling the clay skillfully. She was not able to handle that clay skillfully, and Anula realized that, Scintilla was very nervous and very tense, and as a result, the clay seemed unable or unwilling to yield the right shape. And because she was very nervous, because she was very tense, that is the reason she was not able to give the clay a perfect shape. Right? Yes, because of that nervousness, she could not control the clay properly. And when Scintilla really let the misshapen lump fall flat on the ground, Anula went to her and said, "Don't worry, little one, I shall teach you how to make a perfect pot." So I think it is Scintilla's nervousness and not the skill that she was unable to give the clay a proper shape. And Scintilla was, I think, became tired and she dropped wearily, as in tiredly, let the misshapen lump fall flat on the ground. So she dropped the badly shaped clay on the ground, right? Anula went to her and said, "Don't worry, little one, I shall teach you how to make a perfect pot." Right? Scintilla watched in amazement as Anula fashioned a beautiful pot and asked her to try again. Now, they both are practicing. They both are, Scintilla was amazed basically when she saw Anula make a very beautiful pot. And Anula then encouraged Scintilla, right, to try again and again using what she had learned. Scintilla took another lump of clay and with a confidence she had never felt before, started the process all over again. Following the instructions she had just received, she created a beautiful pot. When it was done, she sat there admiring her work, but Anula said, "The mouth of the pot is all wrong." So this time, Finally, Centilla was no longer afraid and she felt confident because Onula had encouraged her. Right? And she followed all the instructions Onula gave and she successfully made a very beautiful pot finally. But what happens? Onula said the mouth of the pot is all wrong. Centilla looked at Onula in frustration, who smiled and said, when you work with your mother next time, watch her carefully. So Centilla was very proud of her first successful pot, but however, Onula pointed out the mistake. Like the opening, right, or mouth of the pot, that was not shaped correctly. And she's like, I made a pot for the very first time, and she's, pointing out all the mistakes. So Onula said, when you work with your mother next time, now watch her carefully when she's shaping the mouth of the pot. Okay, you are a quick learner and you will do well. Now, during the next pot making session, Centilla observed how her mother held the left hand and spatula, how she slackened the rhythm when fashioning the mouth of the pots, and how a strip of elongated dough was added to the mouth to make the rim. Okay, now she's asking her to observe her mother carefully, especially when Arella shaped the opening of the mouth. So this advice became extremely important later. Onula encouraged Centilla by telling her that she learned quickly, right, and would become successful if she continued practicing and observing carefully. So you need to observe carefully how your mother makes these pots, how she uses her hands. So the next time Centilla worked with her mother, she carefully watched exactly how Arella used her hands and spatula. And this shows that Centilla was a very careful observer. So Centilla noticed that her mother basically slowed down. Her mother slowed down the movement of spatula when making the mouth of the pot. And she also noticed that Arella added a long strip of clay around the mouth to create the rim. Right? That is the technique. That's how she's making the mouth or the opening correctly. Then on a bright and sunny day, Arella told Centilla that they should try to make as many pots as they could. Okay, so the mother was saying that we should try, because it's a bright sunny day, we should try as many times as we can, we need to make as many pots as we can. Otherwise, they would not have enough days of sunshine to dry them, because obviously they do need sunshine, right? So there were only a limited number of sunny days available for drying the pots. So they needed to use the good weather efficiently. They have to make so many pots. So they went to shed quite early to begin. As usual, Arella completed a batch quickly and asked Centilla to take over. Complaining that she had a headache and a backache, she went out telling Centilla to try and make as many pots as she could. Centilla was surprised and reluctantly began to beat the dough in perfect coordination with her left hand. So, now what is happening? Her mother, Arella, said that she had a headache and a backache, and she left, Centilla alone and asked her to make as many pots as possible. So this gave Centilla basically an opportunity to work without her mother directly watching her. Because it makes you nervous when someone is watching you whenever you are writing answer, and if a teacher is standing right there, you feel nervous whether you are writing whatever you are writing is right or not, right? So Centilla was over here surprised that her mother had left her alone, and at first she was hesitant, but she began working with the clay, and she used her, I think, left hand. Right, she had noticed in her mother's hands. She started, suddenly found momentum. Yes, she realized that the pot was ready. She had a headache and a backache. Many pots. Centilla was surprised and reluctantly began to beat the dough in perfect coordination with her left hand. After that, what happened? Before long, she realized that the pot was ready. She started onto the next one. So very quickly, Centilla realized that she had successfully made a pot, and she immediately began another. And like a sprinter who had suddenly found momentum, and Centilla became faster and I think more confident. right? After making that one pot. And dexterity as in skill, the same speed and skill that she had noticed in her mother's hands. Finally, she looked at her row of pots. She saw that she had made just one shot of her mother's tally. So Santala began making pots with that same speed and with that same skill that she had previously observed in her mother, and she is very happy. She's very happy at this point of time, and she realized that there is only one shot of her mother's tally, there is only one shot. She needs to make one more. Exhausted from the labor, she decided to go into the house and join her mother for lunch. When she reached the threshold, she found her mother lying on the floor. She was not breathing. Scintilla ran towards the common area in the village for help. Oh my God. Okay. The villagers raced to the house and sent for Masoba. When Erinla's body was being carried out of the house the next morning, Scintilla ran after it shouting, "Oh God, mother, I did not wish it to happen this way. It simply came to me. Please forgive me." Those who heard her did not understand what she meant. Oh my God, except for Onula. Oh my God. So she was all exhausted. Scintilla was, extremely tired after working so hard. So she went toward the house, to have lunch with her mother. And but when she actually reached the entrance, she saw Erinla lying on the floor. So it's a sad thing. I feel very bad when something like this happens. Actually, her mother died. And then she realized that, "Mother, I did not wish it to happen this way." So she was like, "Oh no, I did not want this skill. Like, you're gone." And Erinla was no longer breathing, actually, her mother. And Scintilla immediately ran to the village for help, and villager rushed to the house and called Masoba, Scintilla's father, and basically she is dead. And now her daughter is like, "I did not want all these things to happen like this. I did not mean it. Mama, please come back." She's like, "I don't want to learn this art anymore." Right? So when Erinla's body was taken away, Scintilla ran behind it and crying and asking her mother for basically forgiveness. And why did she say, "It simply came to me"? Right? "Please forgive me," she's saying. So she meant that she had suddenly discovered that she could make pots extremely well, and she had not planned for her success to happen immediately after her mother died. So she felt guilty and she felt emotionally confused. Like, what just happened? What just happened? And everyone there, those who heard her, did not understand what she meant except for Onula. Right? So the villagers did not understand why Scintilla said that, but Onula understood that Scintilla was talking about her sudden success at pot making. And I think Onula felt that something very important and extraordinary happened. Right? Yes, out of curiosity, she stepped inside and abruptly stopped in her tracks. Two neat rows of newly made pots stood side by side. She could find nothing to tell one batch from other. She was sure that it was not the handiwork of one person alone. Oh God. Onula stood there for a long time as if trying to observe a new phenomena. Slowly, she walked away from this place of wonder, as she considered it to be, because she believed that she had just witnessed a profound revelation in the two batches of still moist pots standing side by side in perfect symmetry inside the shed. A new pot maker was born. So finally, there was this inside the shed, there were two neat rows of freshly made pots, and Onula was like, there is no difference between one another, and one group had been made by Erinla and the other was made by Scintilla. There were two groups over there. Right? So Onula realized basically that both rows could not have been made by the same person. right? So one row was Arinla's work and the other was Sentila's work, and she stood there quietly trying to understand the amazing thing she had just, I think, witnessed, right? And yes, a new pot maker was born. Okay guys, that's a beautiful story but a sad one, right? So she said na, she was only one short of her mother's tally. So her mother, I think, made 5 and she made 4. So Onula basically considered that place a place of wonder over here, right? And moist pots were standing side by side in perfect symmetry inside the shed. So yes, profound revelation, right? Profound is as in very deep, and revelation as in a surprising discovery, right? A surprising realization, right? Okay. So it's an important chapter and I think an amazing one. I completely loved it. Tell me, what are your points? What do you understand from this chapter? What is the main theme of the chapter? So the main theme is basically the story is mainly important about following one's passion, preserving traditional skills, learning through observation, practice, and importance of encouragement. Sentila truly loves pot making, but her mother initially believes that weaving will give her better life, right? So this story, I think, also gives an important message about traditional knowledge. Village elders believe that skills such as pot making do not belong to one individual. They are the part of history and identity of the whole community, and they should be therefore passed on from generation to other generation, right? So a person's true talent may take time to emerge, but passion, practice, and observation and encouragement can help that talent, right? So you need to pass on your skill, your talent to other generations, and that's it. Okay, so there is one more important thing. I completely loved this chapter. There is this one big exam, Mega Vedantu Scholarship Admission Test, and please make sure that click on the description, right, and you will see. Give me a minute. There is this test, Mega Vedantu Scholarship Admission Test, and it's a very big test, like more than 2.5 lakh students every year take this test. And why it's a big test like Mega Vedantu Scholarship Admission Test? Why is it big? Because the rewards are very big. You can earn 100% up to 100% scholarship on Vedantu courses. Other than that, 150 crore worth of scholarship. Other than that, you can know your AIR in 2.5 lakh test takers and 2 crore worth of cash and rewards. Okay, so amazing option, amazing opportunity. I really want all of you to please register now. The dates are 2, 3, 4, 10th and 11th October. So register now, link is in the description. And if you are new to this channel, please do subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon so that you can get all the notifications on time. Bye bye everyone, take care, all the best.